you should deliver 25 high quality compressions at a rate of 100. Oh, I don't. Anyway, we all know that it's to the song of staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. But don't do what they do in the office. That's very funny, but don't do that. G'day everyone and welcome back to Brook Farm. To start off this lovely Monday morning, we're going to upgrade Bill's wing mirrors because they haven't been working for about 5 years maybe, something like that. And this door on here is actually a different door, so you can see that mirror doesn't work. We had a worker who was late for work one day and he reversed out with the door open, hit the shed, broke the other door off. So this is off the old Triton dual cab, and yeah, the mirror just has never worked. So we've got 2 new mirrors here to put on, so this should be fun. So we're going to start easy. We're going to do this side first and get this one, just take this off, put the new one on, and then the other side we're going to have to take the whole old mirror off and put a new one on. As you can see, for fence line spraying, we had the caravan towing mirror on, so you can actually see what's going on behind you. We won't need to do that now, hopefully, unless someone gets a little bit too close to the fence or a tree.
Hopefully not the first day.
Yeah.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Just break it.
Just broke the head of the bolt off.
That works.
One side done.
Just can't get anything on there. Right. Here we can take that. That off. Yes. That makes it a whole lot easier. So the issue I've got is we can't actually get anything up in here to get onto the nut there. So I was trying to break it apart to see what I could do, but look at that. I can just unscrew it from this side and we can deal with it off on a bench, which is nice. So now to line up where we want it on the door, and then we're going to be screwing it into the door. So it should be fun. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it holds. We added it. Oh, you broke it off too.
Broke it up as well.
That was easy. Now I can pop that back on. Somewhere. It's about there. Yeah. But I suppose we could put it wherever we want.
Yeah. Is that too far? Do we need to go further forward, or
You know, it's a bit hard without a mirror on there.
do you want me to get the mirror out of the other box?
I think if we go there, surely that'd be fine.
Yeah.
So do you want me to hold that and you can mark it? They only give you 4 screws, don't they? There's 8 holes.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because they're like, well, we know you're going to screw up one of them.
You reckon I can put a centre punch in without putting a dent in the door?
Give it a go. Just a light tap should work. Should be all right. Rightio, let's get whatever size this is, and then if you want to sit in, and I can do the one on that side.
Yep.
Then you won't know what to do with yourself. Be able to actually see at the back of Bill.
Oh no.
Okay, it's definitely not that. Do I have a... No, I don't have an open ender. Of course I don't. This one's obviously a different side. Suppose we just move the mirror.
Yeah, just tilt it towards me a bit. Keep going. Work. Can you just tilt it?
Oops.
Oh, a bit
More?
too far. Yep. Now bring it into me a little bit. Work. Just a tiny bit far. No.
Tiny bit far the other way.
Yeah.
Well, is it good or not?
Yeah. I'll know definitely when I go spraying. I can see the. Oh, actually, if I sit more naturally, yeah, bring it in a little bit.
Bit more?
No, that's good. Just tilt it
Down or
other
back?
way. Back. Yeah. A little bit too far. A little bit too far back that way now.
Where are you?
That'll
Are you
do,
trying to
that'll
aim
do,
it on a
that'll do,
precise
yep.
little damn...
Yeah.
It's a giant mirror. Bill's all ready to roll. So Henry's coming down here now. I'll just give him a hand to fill up with some water and that. And he's gonna go and continue on the fence line spraying. He tried last week, he did one tank, but then the next day it rained and that's when we started the loft. So no spraying was done last week. So this week he'll pretty much get it all done, I reckon. Doesn't take too long to cruise around an old Bill and get the fence lines all smashed out. Ready?
Yep.
Looks like fence line spraying is going to be delayed just a little bit. It's just started to misty drizzle, so we're going to have to find something else to do. While we wait for the rain, misty stuff to pass, we've got a issue with Louis. One, it's flat, which is very unusual for Louis. But two, we've got a fuel issue every time we go to start it after it's been there for more than 2 days. Just got to keep winding to get the fuel primed up because it's obviously, leaking somewhere. So we'll, investigate. Right, we have an engine and this is obviously our fuel system here. We had to replace this last year because that essentially blew up on us. There's nothing evidently leaking from here. The only thing is maybe the fuel filters. They've got dust around them, which is a sign of something's leaking from there. But I wouldn't think that would be our issue because they'd have to drain out a fair bit to drain the fuel rails, I'd imagine. But anything on your side?
Nah.
I think all our fuel injectors are all good up here. Nothing's dripping from them.
No. No signs of
No, they're all good.
no signs of fuel anywhere on the engine.
No holes. Oh, what about this thing here's moved? Has that rubbed a hole in anything?
Well, I don't see any sign of fuel running down the side of the engine, but probably should be a good idea to tighten that.
Yeah. We're not mechanics. But I'll get the light down here. There is this bracket just here. This is moving. Now that could rub, but it will rub. We'll definitely tighten this up. But there's no holes on there. There's no fuel residue or dust down along the motor, sort of like what we've got here. To be honest, I've got no idea. The fuel filters look like they need changing anyway, considering they were done in 2001. So we'll order some of those and we'll change them. So we're just doing a bit of fiddling around and this is the hand fuel pump down here to prime everything up. And it didn't take too many pumps to get fuel to up here. Like there was nothing, and then now you can hear it, and you can also the pump is got a lot more pressure now. So something's definitely draining somewhere. Henry's climbing around underneath, I think. Where are you? Oh, there he is.
Finally found where it comes out of the tank.
Yeah.
But I can't see, like it doesn't look like it's dripped down.
2,600 hours. What are we up to? Can't be. 28.84. So we've only done just over 284 hours on that fuel filter. We don't do a lot of work in old Louis anymore. Right, we'll order a new fuel filter and change that. Hopefully that'll seal better. That's the only thing I can assume, because that's the only dusty part on the motor. And we've got prime now, I've primed it up. So, yeah. To be continued. Well, it's another day. There's not really a huge amount going on with Henry out spraying. I can't do any of the big jobs because obviously it helps having two of us. And my wife is away this week on a girls' trip with the chemical company in town. So she's away, so I've got the kids. So I'm a late start to work and an early knock-off, which sounds good, but when you got the kids, it's still good. Anyway, we're doing our first aid course in September, and to do that, we've got to do our online training. Now, online training, they reckon about 5 hours. I think I'm getting through that a bit quicker than that, but I thought I'm sitting in the office all alone. Please excuse the messy office. Sitting in the office all alone, and I'm going through all these questions, and I thought, why not get the camera out instead of just talking to myself? I can talk to you guys. So basically, it's with St. John's. I think they're the only people you can do first aid with. And on this side is the quiz itself, and then this side is the information booklet. So that's 131 pages. Basically, I'm just going through and reading the question. I'm then trying to make sure I get the correct answer first, and then if I need help, I go over to the booklet and I just search it there and have a look. So why don't you come along for the ride? I've nearly finished this one. I can't even remember what this one was, but let's start here. What are the signs and symptoms of shock? Cool, sweaty skin that may appear pale or discoloured, low consciousness. Fruity, sweet smell, no, that's diabetes. Alert level of consciousness. Feeling thirsty and having increased temperature. Well, it's going to be the first one. Let's make sure. You don't want to go into shock, but that's normally what happens after a major trauma. Oh, goodness. Problem with shock is there's lots of... What I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm getting it correct first, my knowledge, and then backing it up. Things like diabetes, there's a section here. No one in my family has diabetes, so I've never had to deal with diabetes. I don't know what the different types are, so that I had to do a lot of the looking up on, and yeah. But everything else has been pretty good. Shock. Cool, sweaty skin. Yeah, there we go. So on to the next one. Your workmate has... Actually, this is the last one for this quiz, and then I'll see if I got it wrong. Your workmate has cut their arm, silly Henry, with a power tool. Even worse. They are bleeding heavily and are in shock. What is the first aid management plan? Help calm down your workmate to lower their heart rate to minimise bleeding. Yes, that'll help. Call 000, lie the casualty flat. Apply pressure to the wound and do not raise their legs. Wrap the wound with cloth and get the casualty to apply pressure. Well, and run for help immediately. I love some of these answers. it's like you get why they've got to do it. Have silly questions in there, silly answers. But some of them are quite funny. Anyway, what have I done? I got all of them right except for one. So if we look here, what are the common signs and symptoms of a mild allergic reaction? I chose breathing difficulty and welts on the skin, so it's not that. It's either runny nose, bloodshot eyes and thirst, or sore back and arms. So, now I'm going to do the quiz again. Tongue, hives or welts, tingling of eyes, watering eyes, runny nose. Let's go runny nose and watery eyes. Okay, yes, complete quiz. Got it correct. All right, we're on to the next one. So here we've got our units. So there's 5 units all up. I've done 3 so far. I've done environment, I've done trauma, I've done medical conditions. So this one here, we're going on to considerations when providing CPR. Now, I've been quite bad about doing a first aid course. Whenever they've been on offer, like Cascade will often do one every couple of years, get someone out to do it. Now, whenever that's happened, I've always been away. I've always been on holiday or off doing something else and been busy. I can't do it. I've always been, I need to do one, need to do one, need to do one, need to do one. And just haven't ever gotten around to it. It's something that you don't realise that you need to do. You can't keep putting it off. There was a truck rollover here only maybe about a month ago. Now I was 4th on site to that, and the truck driver was stuck in the truck. It took us about 2.5 hours to get him out, and it was about that long for all the emergency personnel to arrive, like fireys, paramedics and police. Police were first, then the first responder paramedics arrived, then the fireys, and then after that were was the ambulance. Now, he was very lucky. There was no, he had a tiny little cut on his head, but other than that, he had no numbness, nothing like that, no tingling. There was no cuts. Not sure how he survived. It was a very squishy cab, and it took us quite a long time to get him out. We got him out safely, and it was just lucky there was no big cuts or loss of limbs or anything like that, because again, like, I know what to do, but I haven't had the training. So last time I did my first aid course was the bronze medallion, which I did in year 12. So 2007, when I was 17, is the last time I did my first aid course. I'm now 33, so I've been very bad at doing it. So if you haven't done your first aid course, and just go and do it. Go and do it, especially if you're a farmer. Go and do it before this harvest, because harvest is when everything happens, all the injuries, everything like that. That's probably the most important time to go and do a first aid course. So do not put it off like I have. Look, just go and do it. Go and do it. It's worth every cent of your life. Right, the chain of survival is a series of steps to improve a person's chance of survival in respiratory or cardiac arrest. Number the actions in correct order. Okay, early defibrillation, early cardiopulmonary resuscitation, post-resuscitation, early recognition and call for help. Well, that's going to be number 1. Early defibrillation, number 2. Early cardiopulmonary will be number 3, and post-care is number 4. Now, I've honestly got no idea, so let's go chain of survival. Early recognition and care, yes. Early CPR, yes. Oh, okay, my bad. CPR is obviously cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Should have known that. Then defib, and then post-care. ARC guidelines recommend that for an adult, child and infant, you should deliver blank high-quality compressions at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. I'm going to guess it's 25. we all know. Hang on. You should deliver 25 high quality compressions at a rate of 100. Oh, I don't. Anyway, we all know that it's to the song of staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. But don't do what they do in the office. That very funny, but don't do that. Right, this one is the last one I've got to do. It's all about guidelines and regulations, so it's a bit of a boring one, but it's got to be done. It's just like the FCO course, Fire Control Officer, for the fire brigade. That one is all basically legislation. So I'm going to leave the video there. Not an overly exciting one, I know, I'm sorry, but that's just the way the week's going. Henry's off doing the fence line spraying. Well, actually, now he's at his house doing his course, but yeah, it's just not a huge amount going on. Next week, I'll be at Darren on the first day, so if you see me, come up, say hello. I don't bite, and I'd love to, I'd love to see you guys and see who's watching the videos and all that. So come say hello. Henry will also be walking around, so go and say hello to him if you see him. And yeah, I reckon we'll leave it there and go and check out the Glass Cage podcast. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.